Hello. Oh, it's working now. Hello. Anyway, you read the title. I'm going to teach you strats. If you have any questions, feel free to join and I will try and answer them. Alright, let's start with floor 1. Damn. Alright, first jump, pretty simple. Line up like right about here. I usually like to do this, like a little curve. Like a little flick. Just do it like a heavy stick out. I usually do it looking down because that's the right way to do it. Anyway, this one, jump straight out to it, not at an angle, because if you do, you can get stuck on the side. I'll try and show an example, like that. So just jump straight out like that, big turn. This, you want to jump a little far out, have a little bit of an angle, like this. And then this is just a head hitter. This. Wall boost like this before you do it, so you get more height, like this. Or you can just curve, either way, doesn't matter. Be careful on this, sometimes you can walk off, it's pretty annoying. So, just jump off. If you want, you can try aiming for this piece like this. If you're really good. Anyway, this part, I see a lot of people struggling with this jump. Look in the center of these studs. Straight. Make this face right here a little visible when you go out. So like this. Look up. And then curve. It's sometimes inconsistent, but it works. I'll try landing it 3 times in a row. Anyway, you get the point. Like this. I usually look up before I do it too. This, make this thing a little visible, this piece, before you jump. Go to about here, angle, long jump. You don't have to go out a ton either. This part, for this, make this side hidden before you jump. If you put the side of your mouse over here, you'll slide this way. If you do it this way, you'll slide this way. Keep that in mind. Like that. Or you can just rush it and do it like that. Up to you. Careful when you're rushing this, because you could sometimes do this and miss it. Do this, D and then W. This jump is also another hard jump. Make these 2 sides not visible at first. Like this. Make them not visible. Look to about this corner. Go out, make that a little visible. And then just jump to it like that. Just stop so you can assess the situation. Go up. Because if you rush it, you might just miss it completely. Like this. That might happen. It gets very consistent. Like this. Then this, you can either do this to save time, or you can just do it like a normal head hitter like this. Up to you. This, I usually go straight into it with D, and then W at the end, while still holding D. Like that. Careful not to go past this roof, or else this will happen. You might miss it completely. Just do it like this. This is just roof gameplay, kinda. So just jump to it like that. Just keep tapping W while you're looking this way, until you get to about here. Flick using W and D and space. And then go up here. Go to about the center of this. Careful when flicking down, because sometimes it can bounce you off. It's very annoying. Go up if you have to. Look to about here. Then just... Alright, then just space, and then... Yeah, alright. This, you can either climb it, which I find highly inconsistent, or you can do this. It's really consistent. Try not to get stuck on this here if you're rushing. This, do it like this. This jump, probably the hardest of two. Go to the center of this stud, preferably more to the right. Flick going this way, like this, and then do that. Sometimes you won't land it, it's inconsistent. And then just D and W at the end. Sometimes you get bounced off too, if you're a little too high. Like, yeah. You have to time the W right. Like this. And if you're having a trouble climbing up it, just go to the thinner side. Let me show an example. Yeah, just go like more here so you can climb it. This, to avoid hitting your head, jump out using D and then curve in. This, jump straight to it, because sometimes it can flat side you. This, go on this side, because this side can fling you sometimes. So go on this side. Make sure you're out of the roof and you're like this. Don't have too much of an angle. This is just like doing a 10 stud wrap. It's not too difficult. It might seem inconsistent at first, but trust me, it's not. Like that. Let me check comments. Hey, lemon juice. Hey, Miles. This jump, what I do here is I go to about this stud right here. I put my cursor here, about in this area. Between this and half of these. That's where you want it. Look about here, jump, and you want to aim for the corner. Keep tapping W lightly. Don't go too far. Down a little, like that. By the way, if you go down a little, it gives you more boost, so I recommend it. You could even go a little further back. Up to you. And like that. This is just basic gameplay. This, I usually go into it like this and shift. I see some people doing this, and I find that inconsistent. So make sure more than half of your torso is out this way so you can shift. Like that. This, make sure you don't hit your head on this. Go out and then DW to go in. Like this. You can climb it. It's safety netted down here, so it's nothing to worry about, really. This jump, just climb this, like this. D and then W again. This you can either do a walk around, which is very inconsistent, or you can do this, which is the better way. Climb this, and then flick using W and D, and curve. This, try going outwards before you wrap, not inwards, or else you'll hit your head. So just practice going outwards using only D. Only D the whole way. So like this. This, you could set it up fast. I just curve like this. Make both of these corners a little visible, like these two faces visible when you're standing on top of it. I find that way you have more space between this head hitter. Then WD, like this. Or no, it's AW. Like that. So you just curve. And practice spacing yourself from the head hitter, because that's going to be handy. Like this. Don't be afraid to wiggle your camera a little too. This jump, I've seen people do this, which I don't enjoy. So if you want a strat, this is mine. I usually tap S 3 times after I make this face not visible, like this. And then I do DW, or just, AW, or just A the whole way, like this. Like that. This. This, don't hit your head on this, because you might miss this. So just distance yourself, like that. Don't do that. Like this. This, don't bump into this, so go back. Then like that. This, jump out in an angle. Try to avoid this. Like this. Don't be afraid to wiggle your camera a little. That's just a 2-stud overclimb. For this, you can either do it like this. Like this. Or the most consistent method, this. Maybe not consistent. Hold on. Like that. Anyway, if you do it this way, you can catch yourself. So if you fail it, you can land here. Alright, you reached floor 4. Well done. Okay, comments. Thanks, Gusty, for stretch. Noah board. Nah. For this, make like your leg like this, kinda, before you jump. Or just, you could practice rushing it, which I recommend. You have 2 choices here. You can either wrap it like that, or you can climb it, using D then W at the end. Then turn, go back, then A, curve. For this jump, you can use boom strat, which I find very inconsistent, which is that. Or you can do it my way, which is like this. It's just A and W. You don't even have to make this side disappear. You can just do it like that. Before you land it, make sure you're straight against it. Try curving a little bit this way. Like this. Not like that. Like this. For this, just do A and W. Just time the W late while still holding A. Try to climb it. This, go back, about the center of these studs, a little more to the right. Then I do this, a little bit of an angle, like right here, like that. Long jump it. Center of this tightrope, like that. That's really free gameplay. I've seen people struggle on this wall hop, just time it right and you'll be fine. Alright, let me check comments. This video is gonna be outdated in 24 hours because of the amount of physics update. True. This wall hop is a pain. Like, there's no strats for it. You just have to wall hop it. But I've found a slightly consistent method. Go to, like, right here. Like, the middle of these 2 studs, in the middle of this area and this area. Line up, like, right about here. And then do W at the end. So like this. Curve, D, W at the end. And then flick while you're doing it. Sometimes you can flick and then hit your head on the roof and miss it, but that's okay. For this, make half of this leg like that. Go down a little. Like that. Do it like a head hitter. For this, line up with this stud right here before you jump. It makes this ladder not bounce you off as, like, a little more. Then just AW. If you land this wrong and you're out too far, like you're out too far or you're like this, just go back like this. And then just redo it. So this, try not to curve too much or else you'll bounce off like this. Like that. And it's very sensitive at times, so just be careful. Put this. Alright. Look out a little bit. Like this. That's wrong. This has a very specific alignment, kinda. So, take your time on it. So like this. Then go down. This bottom left of your torso, try lining it up a little bit under this section of studs. No matter where you are on the ladder. just make it go a little under, like this. Like that. Then, turn a little, not too much. Alignment, like that. Go as far to the slant as you can too. Try to be a stud back too, so the bottom left of your torso lands like right in between these. This is free gameplay, just long jump it. Jumping to this might be a little bit difficult. It's not. Just WD. That is just a basic overclimb. Try not to hit this. DW, shift off. For this, just do S on the corner. Try not to fling off if you have too much of an angle like that. Like this. Then DW at the end. Try not to get caught on the ceiling or else you'll probably fall down to here. For this, jump to it a little, use this part to your advantage. And then just do that. This part, look a little this way. Then, once you're about here, try stopping it so you don't go very fast. Alright, so like this. Then you want to flick using D and W. So, transition in between D and W really fast. Like that. As you flick. This part, make this side of the truss a little visible before you do this. So, you want to kind of have your mouse here, you want to have this visible. Then, like this, you want to make sure you can freely pass this roof like this. Don't go too high up or else this will happen. So like this. Oh yeah, if you mess it up and you're a little too far out, just flick back like that using W and A. So, like this. Don't go too high up. Look at the top right of your torso. Make sure it's like right here. Right about there. And then shift again. Then this is just D and then land it like that. Sometimes you'll land it climbing it. Let me show an example. Which has a risk of bouncing you off. So like this. Let me see. Sometimes you can land it here, just go up and then like that. Sometimes you can just glide right under here, but in the scenario you don't, just look like this, then like that, then do it again. This jump, you used to be able to just do this, or just walk around it, which is what I used to do. Or you can just do this. Just make sure you're sticking out a little, or else if you're not, that'll happen. So, like this. Make this side a little visible. Then curve out far. Jump to this straight out. For this, put your cursor on this point of the stud. Angle. And then just long jump it. Don't hit your head on this, if that's even possible. Then this jump, angle like this, shift A, and then space. Like that, and then just curve. Like that. Curve into it and then outwards. I recommend practicing this part a lot, this section specifically, because if you fail this, you're going to have to redo it. For this, W, A, and then space. Kind of like a curve. And then you can just let go of W at the end. You only need it for the starter boost. Because if you do it this way, you're just, yeah, it's inconsistent. It sets it up perfectly. Like that. This jump, I've seen people do a weird head hitter strat. Like that, kinda. I don't know how it works, but I just do it like this. You have to... like that. So what I do is, I just make like half or more of this foot out, and then go down to about here. You could probably just have muscle memory on it. which is what I do. And then you can just do it quickly like that. Like this. If you land like this, just WA and then just curve into it. Sort of like this. Okay, like that. Careful here, it's very unforgiving. AW, that's a wrap. This jump is sometimes a pain, so just do AW before you jump. Similar to this jump, kinda. Just like this. Let me check comments now. Alright, like this. So AW and then space. Just what is it? Yeah, just let go of W in the middle and then just do A again. Or just hold it the whole way and then W at the end again. Like that. If you miss it, you'll just land here hopefully, so don't worry. For this jump, what I do is I go in ghost mode, turn slightly so your cursor is about here until you climb it. It usually never fails. In the rare case you climb this part, or not this. It's like you climb a little higher than you should, just redo it. It's like this, then I look on this stud, scroll in twice. You don't have to. Alignments, back. This part is crucial or else you won't make the jump. The back of your legs, just tap S so that it's about spaced about that much between the wall. Like that. And then just do it like that. So I'll do it again. If you go too close to the wall, you'll probably not jump. If you go too far back, you just won't make the jump. I'll show an example. Like that. Or if you just don't line up, sometimes you walk off. Oh boy, this jump. PTSD. Anyway, you can either do this like this, which is very inconsistent for me and a lot of people, or you can do this, which is a new strat Co-Man found. Shout out to him. Go to about here. Okay, not like that. It's hard to set up. You just go down, not too much. Like that. Very overpowered strat. At times. Like that. Time the head hitter late. Like this. Like that. For this jump, try not to angle too close in. Instead, angle more far out. Like this. Put your cursor over here. And then wrap it using only A. The whole way. So like this. Only A. Sometimes you'll get bounced off, it just happens. So like this. This jump. Go to about here on this stud. In between the middle and this darker part. Then look quickly to about here on this stud. Jump and then AW. Like that. If you land it like this, you're lucky. Because if you don't, you're dead. Anyway. Go to about here. Look like this. Fun fact, if your cursor leaves this hitbox area, you'll just fall off like this. So don't do that. And you turn quickly. Like this. And then just do it S space W. With shift lock. In between. Like this. Alright, this jump. Go to about here. More to the right. Look about. Doesn't matter where, you just have to climb it. If you want a precise alignment, for starter, just look right here. And then climb it. A space. It's very easy with this strat. Shout out to Get Wrecked on for giving me this strat. Actual legend. Oh yeah, I forgot to say. XA Virus gave me a tip for this jump. Go closer to this. Anyway, this is the hardest jump of 6, I'd argue. So put your mouse like right here and then do it. It's mostly muscle memory, so you just have to time it right. You can do Akira's 3 jump strat. And then put your cursor here. Do it like that. Or you can do Skit strat, which is like go right here, I think. And then do it. Which, of course, I fail, because Skit never has good strats. I'm joking. Anyway, this is my strat. So I recommend practicing this a lot too. If you have too much of an angle, you probably won't make it. Try not to angle too close in or else you'll hit your head. Like that. This just jumps straight out onto that. Then for mine, I do D against this wall flat, down a little, look to this stud, and then D the whole way. You just walk off. Or you can do the inconsistent people's ways and do it like this, which obviously doesn't work. Or like this. Like this. Best strat. For this, don't look too close in, or else you'll hit your head. Look more outwards for this, and then curve in. Make this face not visible. Like that. Just like this. And then jump to it. Sometimes you'll miss it, sometimes you won't. Depends. This is like low kata with these strats. True skit. Alright, this jump, I accidentally did this one time. If it can trigger. Because anyway, I failed this and I was trying to go back. I landed on it wrong and it dragged me to floor 1 like that. So just be careful if you're rushing this part. Just take your time here. Just wrap to it using only D. This part, this stud section, this little white part, by the way, I use 1 graphics for these alignments, if you're confused on why you can't see them. You can either look like right on this corner, or you can look like in this area here, which is what I do. Then I look to this stud. It's like 1, 2, and then up 1. In this exact location. Do it like a head hitter, and then do that. In the rare case you do fail it, not so rare, you'll fall here. You just have to redo that part. Like this. And then just curve into it, like that. I'll do another example, because it's confusing sometimes. Just curve into it, WD. Oh yeah, shout out to Akira for finding that strat. This, if you made it to 7 for the first time, congratulations. That's a pretty big milestone, actually. For this, don't go too far out. That'll happen. You can probably save here if it ever does. But still, don't go too far out. Look to about here, past this corner. Like this. Go to about like where the 5 and 4 intersection meet, kinda. Like a little bit above. And then A space W at the end. I've literally never failed it with that strat, by the way. This, you can either do this, or you can take your time, like this, which is unfun, especially on rebeats. Like this. Oh yeah, try not to do this bouncing thing before you turn, or else you might fail it. Make sure you're still like this. Look to this exact alignment on this stud, like where this curve is. Look on this area. tap W if you have to. Look to right here. And then long jump using D and then W right at the end like this. Like that. Do it, time it very late. Like this. I'll do another example. Like this. Alright. This, I do alignment keys twice. I don't know why. Then just do D, so you slide down. If you're up too far, it won't happen, so just do S, tap S, then do that. If you feel like you're a little too low on this, just tap W, it's no big deal. Alignment, shift, go back to this wall, curve, jump. It's very free with this strat. Like this. Then curve, using A and W. Like this. As you can see, it's free. For this jump, what I do is this little white part of the stud, I used the similar strat on the last editor of 6. Put your cursor right about here, where the center and this part meet. Alignment keys to make sure you're in the right spot. Alignment keys in ghost mode, by the way. Like this. And then do it again. Go up as far as you can. Alignment keys like this. Then do S, A, and then just A and W at the end. Sometimes you'll walk off. It's a very inconsistent jump at times. Or sometimes you'll just miss it if you time it wrong. That can happen too. I'm showing all the examples of what could happen. Or you can just go a little behind the white marker, which is more consistent, it seems. Like this. And then like this. Time it late before you turn. This jump seems more inconsistent now, I don't know why. Like that. Careful not to get bounced off by the sphere, so don't stop after you land it. Instead, stay like... I'll do another example, hold on. I don't know why it's not landing, I swear. Oh my goodness. Alright, anyway, it should look like that. This jump, careful not to hit your head before you jump, because that's happened to me and Boom before, and I think other people. If you don't feel like rushing this thing, just make sure you aren't stuck against the sphere before you jump. Look back. Angle a little. Don't go too far down or else you'll slide right off. Jump off like that. Careful not to hit this wall or else you'll miss it completely. Or if you're a rusher like me, you can just do that. Like this. This jump, shout out to Robbie Boss for showing me this strat. Anyway, you climb, A against this wall. Then A again. Look at this corner. A and then W. Well, A space W. Like that. Not like that. Very satisfying to pull off, and it works every time. Let me do it again. Okay, I'll do it blindfolded. That's how easy it is. Like this. It's much easier in real runs. Like this. Like this. Okay, just shift off this, like that. For this, Go in the middle of this corner and this stud. Put your mouse about here. This jump is probably the worst jump, I'd argue. Okay, this corner here, line up your shift lock or cursor, whatever, with the center, like that. So like this. And then like that. And then do the jump. Shout out to Robbie Boss as well for finding this strat. Actual legend. So, do it like a long jump too. And then just turn in late. Like that. And then W at the end, just to secure it. Sometimes in rare cases you'll bounce off, which has happened to me before. Or you'll just hit the side like that. Do one more example. Like that. Then for this, you just keep tapping D until you're more on this side. Make sure you're not past the stud or else the jump won't even work. So don't even try that. Just like this. Go to as low as you can, kinda. Like about here. Then jump outwards. Like that. Like that. So like this. So it's Shift D and then W at the end to secure it. I recommend practicing it because I choked it one time. And this is just a overclimb. If you don't know how to do that, then quit. I'm joking. Anyway, for this, just do it like, treat it like a 10 stud wrap. Time it late. This is a free head hitter. If you actually fail this, I don't know how you would. But you just do this. For this, careful when walking around this, you might hit your head on this or something. I don't know. Okay, this jump. This sometimes gets inconsistent. Make this face a little visible before you jump. And center yourself. Look, keep jumping when you align. Look to about this area right here. And then just time it late, like that. So, W all the way. And sometimes you have to stop holding W in between the jump, or else that'll happen. You have to get maximum height. So like this. Like that. Like that. Do it like a head hitter, but you're not using S, but instead using W. Put it that way. Like that. For this, before you climb it, don't rush it. It's very tempting. You can if you want, I don't care, but look to about here, then do the overclimb. For this, make sure you're in this area as flat as possible. Then just do D and then curve back in using A and W, like that. Like that. For this, go more this way. Curve, have a small angle, not a huge angle, like this. You won't make it. So like this. For this, I usually do this. Go in the center of this part, then flick. Or you can do it like this, which just gets strat, I think. Line up 1, 2 in the middle of this, then AW, shift, like that. I think that's more inconsistent because you can't save. If you fail it, maybe you can. Anyway, like this. For this, there's an intersection here that can block your jump, so be careful. Jump at an angle like this, and then just curve. Like this. And then go into it using jump using A and then go into it using A and W like this. And then flat and curve once you land it. Just like this. For this, go up, down a little. Well, just touch the roof before you do the jump. Do like a head hitter. like this. If you're in the JToH game, you can skip this if you want. I don't really think people care, since it's a very bad jump. Oh yeah, ignore the background noise. Right, so look down like this. So like this. Careful not to walk off this. You could probably save here, but in the rare case it does, just, yeah, try saving here. In the rare case this happens, like you just fall off, try saving like that. Anyway, now the strats. This is my strat. You don't have to do it. I failed it plenty of times. You can look at other people's videos. I go to about right. I look at this area roughly. Up. Then I look at these studs. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 back. So 3 up, 3 back. About in this area. Then I go up enough. If your character is doing this bobbing thing, where he's going up and down like this, just do this to make sure, and then back again. It sometimes doesn't work, but sometimes it does. So like that. By the way, make sure you curve out enough after this, like this, but not too much. I recommend practicing this jump highly. Like this. In the rare case you keep going down like this, just redo it. So like this. Like that. It gets very consistent sometimes, so like that. One more time. Sometimes you'll hit your head and not jump at all. It just happens. Very inconsistent jump. I would argue the hardest on 8, easily. Like this. Alright, next one. This. Try not to rush it. You can if you want, like I do. Just wrap it. You might hit your head, so just turn a little early. Like that. For this, go back like this. Then curve using just D. And I don't know why I'm not landing it. Like that. And then just keep doing D until you hit this wall. So, yeah. It makes the landing feel smoother. Like that. So just D the whole way. Like this. For this, I look at this corner. Then I look at this stud. A, W. Like this. A, W. And then I aim for these studs, and then I curve around to this face, like this. I find it most consistent, like that. Let me try 5 times. It gets very consistent. If you train your mind to aim a little more here. I think there might be a new strat for the 6 wrap thing. I think it's the high jump here, if you can confirm. Is it the high jump wrap? Anyway, I'm gonna continue. This. Once you're here, look about here. Make sure this face isn't visible, because for some reason it's inconsistent at times. Face flat, look at this. Then this stud. So, for this, like this. And then DW, and then switch to AW. Actually, you don't even need to do DW, you can just do D for the start. And then just D switch to AW. Like this. While you curve the other way. Like that. So let me do it again. And try timing the curve a little late, like this. This is just a 2-stud overclimb. If you fail it, you're sad. I'm joking. For these jumps, I don't recommend rushing. You can, but you're far, so don't. This. Just jump into it. Try not to hit your head on this, you won't make it. Instead, use the trick thingy, kind of timing thing you used for this, on this. It's like this. So just WD, like that. Like that. Now that you're here, if you have numb hands, it's going to be extremely hard to line up, which happens to me and Skit. So, just stand up, take a breather if you have to. That's what Skit says, or does. So, let me look at comments real quick. So, this part, I would argue, I have the very best strat for this jump. Thank you very much. Chef's kiss. Anyway, look to this. Careful. Use the W, just use WS here, so you don't accidentally walk off using one of the side keys. So like this. Alignment to make sure you're in line with these, with the side of this dark part to the right. I recommend doing it here so you can line up the jump down here too. So, like this. Make sure the pink is pretty much invisible too. Like this. I think wedge physics changed because Boom and me are paranoid that they changed because I walked off this part and he did twice earlier. Like, you just do that sometimes. So just don't rush it. Don't be afraid to not go down too far. Look at this corner right here in ghost mode once you're here. This corner right here. Down. W. Then look right here. Where this curve meets, look right here. If that happens, like, you just saw how I bobbed up and down, right? If that happens, hopefully you saw that. If that happens, just redo it, because the strat will probably break. So like this. That's probably good. Like this. And right here. Once you're at this stage, count 5 studs up. You're probably going to be on the 3rd stud, so go to the 5th stud up. Like this. And then put your cursor, not in the middle, but like halfway under. Like this. Like that. Right about there. Then you want to ghost mode. Look halfway here. Go up. And then just YOLO it from here. Very consistent. So I'll do it 3 times in a row, just to show how consistent this is. So like this. Like this. Like that. And then curve into it using D and then W at the end to secure it. Like this. One more time. Make sure you bounce too. Don't do the just go up one strat. Make sure you do a solid bounce thing. Like this. Also, if your cursor ends up here when you go up, just redo it. Because it might not work. Like that. 3 times. That's how consistent it is. So, that's just a head hitter. Careful not to rush it doing it. Don't do it like this. If you do it like this and you got this far and you fail, I have no sympathy. Just do it like that. This, do not rush this. You might hit that by accident. So, actually, let me check comments. Like this. Alright, so just back against this. Look up. Jump to it using W. Pretty free. Go down. Make sure you're as close to this wall as possible. Use WA if you have to. Or just W. Go down, but not like this far down. Because if you go down anymore, you're going to fall off. So, like this. Look to the corner of the frame. Put your mouse there. Like that. In the rare case, sometimes this happens. You just fall off. So just tap space. Like this. Like this. Then W. Just S. W A. And then W and W again in the middle. Like this. Just swap in between. Here, I'll put my keyboard cam a little bit here so you can see how I do it. It's like this. You could hopefully see my fingers transition. Like that. So, up, close to the wall. Up a little. Corner of frame, space, down, W, A, W. I almost missed that, but okay. One more time. Like this. So this is WD, flick, then, hold on, BRB. Okay, I'm back. Alright, anyway, as I was saying, why is my camera messed up? There we go. Okay. So for this, WD, flick, space. Also try not to go off this truss like that. Don't rush it. Go in like this place before you flick. Like that. Curve. So like this. This part, do D and then AW. to go left and secure it while you curve. Similar to down here, where you do this. Just do it like this. Do space if you have to. This is just a flick around using D and W. Similar to the truss on 5, how I did it. If you don't want to rush it and hit this wedge above. So if you want to, you can rush this using just camera movements and D, W and D. Like that. If you're feeling a little daredevilish. Or if you're a rusher like me, you can just jump to it like that and do it. Which I think is not safe. So for this, line up in the center of this stud. Center of this stud. And then turn to about here. In the center of the end here and this stud. Right about there. Down to about here. Up. And then like that. Sometimes you'll hit your head. But you can save. Like that. So, actually let me explain the keys better. So it's down to about here. W, D. And then, yeah, it's just W, D. Basically. Go up and then D. After you think you passed the wall area. And then just curve using camera movements. So like that. This part, your adrenaline will be high, so don't rush it. Go like this. Then curve. Before you jump, curve outwards and time the curve in late. You can save here if you fall. I recommend practicing this section here. Just in case you fail it. So like this. And then W and D. D and then W. So like this. D and then W. Try curving in from this side. Not at the front. So like this. Like this. For this, if you don't feel like rushing, go to the middle of this stud, look about here, then do the head hitter. But in the case you do want to rush, if you're that kind of mad person, just do it like this. Like that. Like that. So just A and then W. Like that. This jump is very, very unsafe. Like, yeah, I think you can know where you fall. Anyway. This has happened to me before. If this does happen, I have a trick. Don't worry. So, go down a little. Down enough so you have enough space to do a truss bounce thing. So like this. And then do that. Like that. Make sure you're going up before you push space too. Or else this will happen. So like this. So just go out. Make sure you're about here. Make your torso above this intersection. That is very crucial, or else you will not make that jump. So like this. So for this, just like this. And then WD space shift. And then let go of W mid-jump, and then W again at the landing. Like this. Like that. While you curve in. So like this. So for this, I accidentally walked off one time. That's my worst fail in JToH, questionably. So make sure you go down to about here before you jump. It's gonna naturally push you up, so just be very, very careful. Make this side a little visible if you want. Then just jump to it using D. D and W if you prefer. Like this. Land it. Then go to this side using D if you landed it like this. W. turn, like that. So, if you landed it like, yeah, just go like this. Because if you do, you have a less chance of doing that. So just go on it sideways, turn, curve, like that. Try not to hit your head on this, which I think is actually impossible. So like this, and then just D. This jump is very nerve-wracking, by the way, so just be careful. At this part, you're probably spamming GG in chat, because that's what everyone does. Or just spamming random letters. Congratulations, you made it to safety. So, for this, for this, credit to Tin Enderman for finding this strat when I was on final stretch. Do go up here, about to this dark stud, alignment DW space, or WD space shift, like that, and then curve to it. Make sure you're a little flat against the wall too, because if you're not, this will happen. You just might not jump sometimes. Hold on. Anyway, let me do it again. So this is probably the most inconsistent jump of safety, so. Like that. For this, look at these studs down here before you climb it. And then do it like this. Like that. Put it like right in between, or at the half stud there, kind of. Like where these studs down here meet. And then climb it. Just W again. It's a wedge, so the climb hitboxes are different. So do it like that. Then jump to it. This jump, flick outwards till about this much is showing. Then look straight. Then curve to it like that. So like this. Then AW. Also, you have to use space. I'm not mentioning that in strats because I think it should be very obvious. Like that. Like this. Sometimes you'll hit your head too if you time it too early. Just like that. Or if you angle too much inwards. Like that. This has two ways. You can either do that or like this. You have two choices here. This part, go down here. This is really free. It's safety netted. So, go here. Just, middle here. Like this. Make this side of the truss visible. This side. Actually, no, just do it like a head hitter after you're like this. Credit to Ake for finding this strat, I think. Yo, move your fat... Who this? Anyway. Go here. Then curve in. This is a very long flick. So, I recommend practicing it. WD and then just flick in. Turn in sharply late. Like that. This walk around, I find people struggle on. Just go to about here. Make this side visible about that much. Or just stick out. Try not to walk off, because that's bad. So just W, D, and then D to secure it, like this. While you're turning. WD while you're turning, and then when you're straight facing, just let go of W, like this. Like that. This jump, you can take your time on it. Or you can just do this, which is W, the whole way around. Don't hit your head on this. Just do it like a head hitter. This jump, go up here. Careful not to fall off. Use WD to go there. Face against this flat. Flick. That's what I do. Using WD at the same time. Or you can, yeah, find stud alignments. But that gets overcomplicated. Like that. For this, WD, while you're curving around. Yo, excuse me, bro. D to go down. Make sure your cursor doesn't, yeah, anyway. Like this. Go down so you have enough space to jump off. Like that. This. Climb this. Shift. And then DW. Like that. If you land on it like this, if you land on this like that, just flick like that. Go down to this. Look about here. Flick using that, or just shift off like that. For this, you have to be naturally moving right. Right now I'm naturally moving left in order to make this jump. You don't have to, you can do a head hit. You can do it like this. But if you want to do that, do A and then W as you flick. You have to time the grip back onto the truss a little late. Like that. So you'll be moving right. Just like this. Don't go too far out or else you'll fall off. Like that. For this, sometimes I fail it, so look at this part of the stud. Like that. Or you can just rush it. Up to you. For this, make sure this face isn't visible before you jump. Long jump it using D. And then W at the end. So like this. This is just a head hitter. Sometimes you can climb this, so don't let it just fling you off. For this, just do it like a long wrap. Stick out. Go to this corner. Long jump using A the whole way. Like that. So like this. Not like that. It's probably one of the most inconsistent jumps on safety. For this, go here, and then curve, so you can climb it. Like this. Sometimes it's inconsistent, like that. Or you can do it like this, up to you. I just find the climb strat more consistent. So like that. This is the official win pad of this place. Congrats. If you're in the JToH version, screw you. You have to do 2 more jumps. They are significantly less harder than this, so don't worry about it. I'm pretty sure this is an 11 stud here. JToH is like a 9 stud. I just do it like this. This is just a long jump. If you don't know the technique, then I advise you look it up. Congrats, you won. Yay. Alright. This guy wanted to show me a strat for floor 6. So I'm gonna see what he has to offer. Actually, hold on. Who's sending me friend requests? Okay. Just give me 5 minutes. I might find a strat for this jump real quick. Yeah. Bro. Alright. Thank you guys for coming. You can go now if you want. I'm just seeing if there's a strat for this jump. Doesn't look consistent. Face reveal or bad at JToH? How about middle finger review? Alright, I'm just gonna end the stream. Thank you guys for watching. I hope these strats are actually useful. Alright, so yeah.